It is a mid-century modern home, and a lot of the details that have been brought into the house are that of an English cottage. I think Calgary is very much a city where people are homeowners, and coming from Toronto, we were very familiar as being renters. We had rented for many years, and to really kind of sink our teeth into the city, I really wanted to get an idea of what the different neighborhoods felt like. And so ultimately we decided to rent. I never saw this home in person. I only saw it online in the listing. And my mother and I did a FaceTime walkthrough. I thought, if this house looks as good as it does in person, I am so lucky to have all of this interesting architecture detail that has been preserved. There was a lot of wall molding throughout. There was a lot of wood. There were a lot of other details that were specific to the 60s, like the fluted glass, for instance, in the entryway, the skylights, the sky tube in the kitchen, and then, of course, the sunken den, which is what really got me. So from a standpoint of aesthetics, I figured the kids are young. I want to do something really fun and poppin'. I don't even say the word poppin', okay? I wanted to do something really interesting and fun. As I was noting, there's a lot of moldings in the space, and there's a lot of board and batten, and that felt very English cottage to me. And then married with the sunken den, I thought, how does mid-century modern and English kind of merge together? And I thought, color. There has to be a lot of color that kind of marries the two together. When I was looking in the sunken den, pulling color, I was looking at the stone. That's really where everything started. And I was thinking, what can I use to really pop off of this really rich but kind of rose stone? I think the impulse by most would be to go white, and that would be a huge change because we were painting a veneer, might I add. So I pulled a muddied kind of rose color. It's called amaryllis. It is Benjamin Moore. The checkerboard is also the amaryllis. I thought, what am I gonna do in this main entryway that's gonna be interesting and dynamic? And while I think wallpaper would have been interesting, this is a rental and this had to be an economic kind of decision. So I went ahead and I just tried it out and I painted it. So I wanted to pick tones that were of the same depth within the same kind of palettes, and a lot of them speak to each other and are linked by visual lines of sight. I knew that I wanted to use Pharaoh and Ball oval room blue in the eating nook, and then the bookshelves we did in Savannah Benjamin Moore, as well as the moldings behind me in the studio room. Initially, I was trying to think, what are we going to do in this long linear entryway room? I think that the purpose of it was to have a more formal living space, but that wasn't really something that was going to be functional for our family. And so I thought, why don't we build bookcases? And once I had that idea, the whole vision came to life. We wrapped the wall in prefabricated bookcases that we then had built out with millwork, and it instantly really made the room have purpose. And then the rest of the home is only revealed once you enter the kitchen area. We really have 3 seating areas in this home. We have the studio, we have the library, and then we have the sunken den. And so this was really a bonus room where when I do my podcast or when I do my client work, I have all of my samples stored in there where I can just go in and feel inspired and look around at pretty things. We are so fortunate to have 3 built-in benches in this home, which I have upholstered cushions on. It's super cozy. There are so many different little English nods in this space. I wanted this dining area to come to life really by starting with painting out the wall trim. And then the next jump off point beyond that was the bespoke lampshade. I chose a trim that would also really contrast the wall, and that really kind of fills the space. And beyond that, there aren't that many other details, but it just feels really warm and cozy, and our family loves it. In terms of the landlord, I think it really helped that I am an interior designer and I was able to show him in advance of even presenting any concepts for the home, show him my portfolio. And I think that kind of excited him, knowing that it was going into good hands to someone who would care for the space. But I think that if you do want to do something that is a little bit more off the beaten path, I would come to the landlord and I would present, what is your vision? If you are not going to be doing the painting, for instance, add some draperies to the space, like add some soft finishes, change the lighting if that's an option for you, add area rugs to the floors, just layer the space so that it feels like it's coming to life. For me, it's really important to be inspired by my surroundings. And so I think taking that extra time to really customize a space, whether you're there for a year or 10 years, it's really important. I think making that personal investment in making it feel like us has just made this transition so easy.